Speaking English quickly is like running a race where you feel both excited and scared. There was a boy named Liam who dreamed of speaking English like the wind. His village was small and most people spoke their own language. But Liam wanted more. He wanted to speak the language of stories, songs, and the world. People laughed at him sometimes, saying, "Why do you try so hard?" Still, Liam believed he could do it. His heart told him that one day he would speak English as fast as the flowing river near his home. Liam's journey began with a small book. It had simple English words and pictures. He would look at it every morning and try to say the words out loud. The sounds felt strange in his mouth, like trying to sing a song he didn't know yet. Some days he wanted to give up, but his mother always said, "Even the tallest tree starts as a tiny seed." Liam remembered her words whenever he felt sad. He practiced saying words while walking to school, while feeding the chickens, and even before sleeping. His dreams were filled with English words, spinning like stars. One day, a kind teacher named Mr. Carter came to Liam's school. Mr. Carter was from the city and spoke English very well. Liam was shy at first, but he felt a small fire inside him. He wanted to learn from Mr. Carter. The teacher saw the spark in Liam's eyes and gave him a secret tip: speak even if you're scared of making mistakes. That's how we grow. These words became Liam's secret treasure. He started speaking simple sentences with Mr. Carter. "How are you?" he would ask, and when Mr. Carter replied, Liam would repeat the words again and again until they felt easy, but the road was not smooth. Other children teased Liam, "Why do you talk like that?" "You sound funny," they said. It hurt him deeply. He would sit by the river, tears falling into the water, but then he remembered something his grandmother once told him. The river flows over rocks, not because it's strong, but because it keeps going. Liam decided to keep going too. He whispered to himself, "I will be like the river." The hook came when Liam discovered an old radio in the attic of his house. The radio played songs and stories in English. At first, the words felt too fast, like raindrops he couldn't catch, but Liam didn't stop. He listened every day, writing down the sounds he could hear. Sometimes he would make up his own meanings for the words. Slowly, the fast words became clear. Liam began to sing along with the songs, his voice shaky but full of hope. The radio became his secret friend, and he felt his English getting better day by day. Liam's hard work brought him closer to his dream, but he still had more to learn. He started talking to strangers who visited the village market. "Hello, what is your name?" he would ask. Some people ignored him, but others smiled and answered. Every small conversation felt like climbing a mountain. Each step made him stronger. His father noticed his effort and bought him a dictionary. Liam carried it everywhere, flipping through the pages, learning new words like a treasure hunter finding gold. One cold evening, Liam faced his biggest fear. The school announced a speech contest, and students had to speak in English. Liam's heart raced like a drum. He wanted to join, but what if he failed? Mr. Carter told him, "Every bird learns to fly by trying. Trust yourself." With shaking hands, Liam wrote his speech. He practiced in front of the mirror, his voice soft at first, but growing stronger. The night before the contest, he hardly slept. His mind was full of doubts, but he also felt a small, brave voice whisper, "You can do this." On the day of the contest, Liam stood on the stage. His legs felt like jelly, and his palms were sweaty. But then he looked at his mother in the crowd. She smiled at him, and he remembered why he started this journey. Liam took a deep breath and began to speak. His voice was not perfect, but it was full of heart. The words came out slowly at first, but they flowed like the river he loved. When he finished, the room was silent for a moment. Then everyone clapped. Liam's heart felt like it could burst with joy. After the contest, many people came to him. "You did so well, Liam," they said. Even the children who teased him before looked at him with new respect. Mr. Carter patted his shoulder and said, "I knew you could do it." Liam realized something important that day. Speaking English quickly was not just about speed. It was about courage, practice, and believing in yourself. He felt like he had won more than just a contest. He had found his voice. Liam's story did not end there. He kept learning, kept practicing, and kept dreaming. His English became faster and smoother, like the wind he once admired. He started teaching other children in his village, sharing his secret tips and stories. "Don't be afraid to make mistakes," he told them. "Every word you say is a step forward." The village that once laughed at him now looked up to him. Liam became a bridge, connecting his small village to the big world through the power of language. Years later, Liam traveled to a faraway city to study. He met people from many countries and spoke English with confidence. But he never forgot where he came from. Whenever he saw a struggling learner, he would smile and say, "Keep going, just like the river." And so, Liam's journey became an endless song of hope, hard work, and dreams coming true. Speaking English quickly was no longer just a goal, it was a gift he could share with others. The river of his life flowed on, strong and steady, touching many hearts along the way. Liam's life became a story that inspired others. As he walked through the busy streets of the city, he remembered the quiet nights in his village when he would sit with his dictionary, the stars above his head. He realized that everything he had struggled for was worth it, but his journey of learning never stopped. Liam always believed that learning a language wasn't just about speaking, it was about connecting, understanding, and sharing emotions. One day, while studying at the city library, he met a girl named Maria. She was trying to learn English too, but she seemed frustrated. Her notebook was filled with crossed-out words, and she sighed heavily. Liam noticed her struggle and remembered how lonely he had felt during his own hard times. Gently, he said, "I can help if you'd like." Maria looked up, surprised, but then smiled shyly and nodded. Liam began teaching Maria using the same secret tips that had helped him. They spoke slowly at first, repeating words, laughing when they made mistakes. Liam told her, "Mistakes are like stepping stones. They help us cross the river." Maria felt encouraged and began to improve. As they practiced together, Liam realized how much joy it brought him to help others. He saw his younger self in Maria, and promised to always be patient and kind. But the city wasn't without its challenges. There were moments when Liam felt out of place. Sometimes people with perfect English accents would speak too quickly or use words he didn't know. It made him feel small, like he was still that boy standing by the river, unsure of himself. On such days he would close his eyes and remind himself of how far he had come. Learning never ends, he whispered to himself. Even the wisest person started somewhere. One evening Maria asked Liam, "Why do you try so hard to help others?" He thought deeply before answering. "Because I know how it feels to struggle. I know the pain of being laughed at, the fear of speaking up, and the joy when someone believes in you. I want to be that person for others." Maria's eyes filled with tears, and she said, "You're not just teaching me English, you're teaching me courage." Liam felt a warmth in his heart, stronger than any applause he had ever received. The hook in Liam's journey came when he was invited to a language workshop at the university. The event was full of people who had learned English as a second language. They shared stories of their struggles, triumphs, and dreams. Liam listened with tears in his eyes, realizing how universal his experience was. When it was his turn to speak, he stood before the crowd, feeling the same nervous excitement he had felt during his first speech contest. "My name is Liam," he began, his voice steady. "I come from a small village where English was like a distant star. I was afraid. I made mistakes. But I never stopped. Today, I am here because of that journey. Remember, every word you learn is a piece of the puzzle. Don't stop, no matter how hard it feels." The room erupted in applause, and Liam felt a sense of belonging he had never experienced before. After the workshop, people approached him, thanking him for his words. A man from another country said, "Your story reminded me of my own. It gives me hope to keep going." Liam realized that his struggles had turned into strength, and his voice had become a beacon for others. He decided to create a group where learners could practice speaking English without fear. He called it Voices Together. The group grew quickly. People from different cultures joined, each bringing their unique stories and accents. They laughed, stumbled, and learned together. Liam made sure everyone felt safe to speak, no matter how slow or unsure they were. He often told them, the goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to connect. Through this group, Liam saw how language could break barriers and build friendships. As the years passed, Liam became a teacher, not just of English, but of hope and perseverance. He traveled to schools and villages, sharing his story and helping others find their voices. He met people who had given up on learning, and he reignited their passion. He taught them to love the process, to celebrate small victories, and to never compare themselves to others. "Your journey is yours," he would say. "Walk it proudly." Liam's journey wasn't just about speaking English quickly anymore. It was about helping others find their confidence and showing them that every effort counts. He always remembered his own struggles, the teasing, the lonely nights, the shaky first speech, and used them to guide others. His heart was full, knowing he was making a difference. A while later, Liam returned to his village. The children ran to him, calling him Teacher Liam. He smiled and sat with them by the river, the same river that had once been his source of strength. He taught them English songs and simple phrases, encouraging them to dream big. The laughter of the children filled the air, and Liam felt a deep sense of peace. As the sun set over the village, Liam looked at the flowing river and thought about his journey. He had started as a boy with a dream, facing struggles and fears. Now he was a man who had turned those struggles into stepping stones, not just for himself, but for others. The river of his life had flowed far and wide, carrying hope wherever it went. Liam whispered to himself, "The journey never ends, and that's the beauty of it." With a heart full of gratitude and a mind full of dreams, he smiled, ready to continue his journey one word at a time. Liam's story carried on as the ripples of his efforts spread far beyond what he could have imagined. The group he had started, Voices Together, grew into a movement. People from different parts of the country joined, sharing their fears and triumphs in learning English. They came from villages, cities, and even faraway lands, all bound by a common dream, to express themselves without fear. Liam saw how this simple goal brought people together, bridging differences and building friendships. One day, a young boy named Arjun approached Liam during one of the group sessions. Arjun spoke so softly that it was hard to hear him. "I want to speak like you," he said, looking down at his feet. Liam knelt to meet his gaze. "Do you know what the first step is?" Liam asked. Arjun shook his head. Liam smiled and said, "Believe that you can." Liam worked with Arjun patiently. He gave him small, easy tasks like introducing himself or describing his favorite food. Arjun stumbled often, but Liam would gently correct him. "You don't have to be fast, just clear," he would say. Over time, Arjun's voice grew stronger, and so did his confidence. One day, Arjun stood up in front of the group and told a short story in English. Everyone clapped, and Liam felt a familiar warmth in his heart. He saw himself in Arjun and knew this was what he was meant to do. Meanwhile, Liam faced his own challenges. He had become a symbol of hope for so many, but sometimes he doubted himself. Was he doing enough? Was he truly making a difference? Late at night, he would sit by his window, looking out at the city lights. His mind wandered back to the stars above his village and the sound of the river. He reminded himself that progress wasn't always loud or obvious. Sometimes it was as quiet as a seed growing underground. He just needed to trust the process. One evening, Liam received a letter from Maria, the friend he had once helped. She had moved to another city to pursue her dreams, but wanted to share her gratitude. "Liam," the letter read, "because of you, I'm no longer afraid to speak. I've started teaching English to kids in my neighborhood. They remind me of how you helped me. Thank you for believing in me when I didn't believe in myself." Liam held the letter close, tears in his eyes. It was a reminder that even the smallest acts of kindness could ripple out into the world. As the years went by, Liam's work gained recognition. He was invited to speak at conferences and schools. sharing his story and encouraging others to embrace their own journeys. One such event took him to a remote mountain village where the children had little access to education. Their eyes lit up as Liam spoke to them, breaking down complex English words into playful songs and games. He stayed there for weeks, helping to build a small library with donated books. When he left, the children waved and called out, "Goodbye, Teacher Liam. Come back soon." Liam waved back, his heart full. The hook in Liam's continued journey came when he was offered an opportunity to host an online show about learning English. The show would reach people around the world, making lessons accessible to anyone with an internet connection. At first, Liam was hesitant. He wasn't sure if he was ready to step into such a big role. But then he remembered his first speech contest, the shaky voice, the racing heart, and the courage it took to step on that stage. This is just another step, he told himself. The show, called Let's Speak Together, became an instant success. Liam's warmth and genuine approach drew people in. He didn't just teach vocabulary or grammar. He shared stories, laughed with his audience, and encouraged them to celebrate every small win. "It's okay to stumble," he often said. "Each stumble is proof that you're trying." Liam's message reached a young woman named Sophia in a distant country. She wrote to him, saying, "Your show has given me the courage to apply for a job where I have to speak English every day. I was scared, but your words made me believe I could do it." Liam read her letter with a smile. Every story, like Sophia's, was a reminder of why he had started this journey. One day, Liam received an invitation to return to his childhood village to give a talk at the school where his dreams had begun. When he arrived, the memories came flooding back. The narrow roads, the familiar smells, the sound of the river. The children at the school greeted him with excitement, their faces bright with curiosity. Liam stood in front of them, holding the same small book that had been his first English guide. He told them about his struggles, his fears, and the joy of overcoming them. "You don't need to be perfect," he said. "You just need to start, and if you fall, get up and try again." The children listened with wide eyes, their hearts filling with hope. When Liam finished, one of the teachers said, "You've given them a gift, Liam, a belief that they can dream beyond this village." As Liam walked along the river that evening, he felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. He thought about the boy he used to be, practicing words under the stars, and how far that boy had come. He realized that speaking English quickly was never the ultimate goal. The real achievement was the connections he had made, the lives he had touched, and the courage he had found within himself. Liam's journey was far from over. He continued to teach, to learn, and to inspire. Every day brought new challenges, but also new opportunities to grow. He knew that his story wasn't just his own anymore. It belonged to everyone who had ever struggled, hoped, and worked hard to find their voice. And so Liam's river flowed on, carrying dreams, hope, and endless possibilities. His journey proved that with determination, kindness, and the courage to keep going, anyone could turn their struggles into something beautiful.